All right, Kenman here, and today I am currently not bleeding anywhere. Can I finish this review and maintain as such? Let's hope so. What are we talking about? Well, let's get into it. Today we're looking at a knife from the Anything Emerson Waved collection. He sent me a bunch of knives of his for me to check out, to review, share with all of you. This is the first one in that collection. Let's check it out, get to it. What are we talking about? Why are you talking about potentially cutting yourself? Look at this beast. Today's knife is the Extrema Ratio BD4 Contractor. Look at this beast. It's huge. So, made in Italy. Got an Italian knife, Extrema Ratio. First knife from that company on the channel here. Says the BD4 Contractor right there, and then like a little number, C0035T, if you're interested in this specific design, and then made in Italy right there. But it's kind of, the writing here and here doesn't bother me so much. It kind of sits in there nicely, not very distracting, but this big Extrema Ratio on the blade, I'm not a large fan of that, but here we are. Not a big one on the branding. Here is the scary part. All right, so it is a liner lock. Why am I being so cautious and careful? Well, this is a double edge. We got a classic Italian stiletto design here. It is sharp on both sides. We have the serrates down at the bottom, and then a sharp dual edge dagger style, right? And so when I go to the liner lock, you know, you could put your finger up like this to close it, but then you're putting your finger on a blade. It's not sharp right there, not sharp right here, but you got to kind of get around there and make sure you're not touching that outer edge. Plus, this is what the wildest part is it's closed. What am I looking at right there? Well, that's that serrated edge and then start of the blade. I'm touching it. I'm touching it right now. I'm not trying at all. There's no protection for that. It's literally fully exposed. And if you ask me, dangerous. I don't think that's safe. He said he's carried this quite a bit and never cut himself on it. But, I mean, I am running myself against that right there. I mean, I could literally... Look at that. Tore into the paper right there, and it's fully exposed. You can't hide that. Look at that. Isn't that wild? I mean, I don't think it should be like that. It should be at least sealed like in here, because you could slip like this, slide your finger that way, and just get yourself a big cut without even really trying. Flips out nicely. Seems all right. Closing action, it doesn't really have a drop, so you got to kind of get in there all awkward and not push against that blade. Can't recommend it. I mean, kind of an interesting, cool looking knife, but that just seems too dangerous for me. Could choke up on that little spot right there if necessary. It doesn't start getting sharp until that first serrated little dip. So you could get in there like that if you wanted to. I don't know why you'd want to. Does feel nice. Blade is N690. And then the handle is aluminum. And it does have these nice guards, little Emerson Wave action, obviously from Anything Emerson Waved, which means I put it in my pocket. And then when you go to take it out of your pocket, you catch it on the lip like that. And it basically deploys the blade as you are taking it out of your pocket. That is the Emerson Wave technology. Many more Emerson Waved things in this collection, obviously, coming in the near future here, so stay tuned for that. All right, so blade is solid, doesn't really have any play. Sketchy, being sharp on both sides. Not quite centered. It actually sits off that way just a little bit. Centered up here, but towards the tip it kind of leans off to that side. but it is, could almost tighten it a little bit. Do I have? I do right here. Sorry, I'm off camera. I just tightened it up just a little. That did bring it a little bit closer to center. Still off by just a bit. Does have a captive pivot there, flat head for the tightening. Looks like the clip can be swapped to the other side. Are we missing a screw? No, it looks like it's just a 3-screw hole pattern. That is interesting. So you've got the dowel space in there. That goes right there. And then you got the 3-hole pattern with the 4th extra, because when you're on this side, you would use these 3 instead of those 3. Interesting little short clip, but it is a deep carry clip. Look at that. It goes way back there. I don't know how well it fits in the pocket. I haven't really tested this out much. I'm not going to be carrying this one around. When you have a knife that's got an exposed edge like that, that is not in my desires to mess around with that very much. I haven't really handled it too much either, because it just kind of, it's something you can get forgetful of really easy, and then the next thing you know, you go like this with one of your, like you do your normal knives, and then you got yourself cut. Okay, anybody have anything from Extrema Ratio? This one is an interesting design. I do like the kind of classic Italian stiletto, double edge. Feels all right. It's huge. This thing is enormous. All right, so detent isn't super strong, but it basically does flip out pretty easily. All right. Not much zoom in on that one. 11. We're looking at 11 inches front to back. Big boy. 4 7/8 on the blade with just a slight barely curve on both bellies. Double bellies. 6 1/8 on the handle, if you include that extension that literally the clip makes it 1/4 of an inch longer. Blade is 0.1. Drops to 0.8, so the 0.1 goes to about there and kind of thins out on that dagger. Handle 0.43. Thickest up here 102 with the guards 208, and then 9.7 on the thickest part of the blade with the never-ending battery. Careful. Anybody ever see a knife like that where it's like, that's the design? There isn't anything, this isn't a flaw. This wasn't like, that is it. They sold it. That's it. Look at that. Craziness. 4.92. Compare everything with the Kaiser Drop Bear 3.29. So I mean, this thing is huge, but not that heavy for the length that it is. 4.92. All right, Kaiser Drop Bear is a not quite full-size, great daily carry, EDC, fidget factor all the way, as you can see. 154 cm micarta, tons of jimps, great daily carry, bug out killer, pyrite killer. Huge. 2 inches longer on both the front and the back. So this thing is a beast. If you're looking for a nice daily carry, though, check out a Kaiser Drop Bear. Wow. Okay. Paper cut test I've been doing. I don't have much paper here in this. All right. Ooh, not. Oof. This is a 1. It's, yeah, I definitely tell that he's kind of used it and stuff, but the edge on here is, I mean, I can pierce cut, but it's tearing quite a bit. There is not a lot of good edge going on there right now. Let's just try a couple of backwards strops just to see maybe if there's just a burr I can. No, this is probably the worst sharpness on a knife I've so far. That's pretty bad. What do we call that, a 1? Is that even a 1? We need to put an edge on there. Or just put it in the collection and you don't use it because it's just sketchy. I don't know. So yeah, give me your thoughts down below. Is this just a danger magnet? Is this work? I've said he carries this, or he's carried it several times, he said, and he's never cut himself on it or had any issues. But I mean, I can feel it right there, just ready to grab on and cut you right open there. Interesting design. Not sure if I'll see many more of these in the future, but we will see some more stuff from Anything Emerson Waved, so stay tuned for that. Lots of fun. Thanks for sending me the knives for review. Yeah, stay sharp. We'll see you soon.